Okay, there we are. We are live on this lovely. Where it's raining down here. Saturday evening. Let me hit the little intro music there, and hold on here. Let's see if I can get it rolling. Oh, I changed the background on us. There we go. Ah, losing. All right, that is better. That is better. I want to welcome everybody to Bim and Mel, Elizabeth and Mel. We're doing a podcast. We'll do it for you. We'll try to do it every other Saturday, and don't forget that every other Tuesday we'll be doing live from Third Floor Comics over there in Nitro, West Virginia, with Tim. And we'll get that every other Tuesday, starting this Tuesday, by the way. But this is Bim and Mel, and give me just a moment here. Let me share this to my personal Facebook page. Dun, 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 dun. I forgot to ask you how you were doing, by the way.
I'm good. It's on Facebook. I shared it for you.
For us. Good deal. Give me just a second here while I comb through my phone there. Share to news feed. Hold on here. Do that. And okay. There we go. Got it shared. But anyway, it is Saturday. NBA Finals Game 5. I'll be watching once I get off of here. And what we're going to do today is Elizabeth and I, we have our top 10, our personal preference, top 10.
We're not experts, that's for sure.
No, not experts. No, we're going to give our top 10 actors on television, and these are our personal preferences. It's not anything that is, like you said, professional or anything like that. So it's just our personal preference, and we're going to give our top 10 actors. And I would imagine, I can tell you this, I know without a doubt, because when I was at work today, I was going over it with a guy that I work with, and I know without a doubt that my number 10 is going to probably shock you, and that my number 9 is probably going to shock you as well. So
I don't even know if I put mine in order by 1 through 10, but I mean, I can try to list them that way when I talk about them. But
no, just however you want to do it. So I put mine in order, but no, however it is you want to do it.
Mine are equal in my heart, Mel. They're all continuously.
Yeah, mine are the same. Honestly, it was very, very tough. I sat over and I went through all week long, and I kept going over people, and I was putting them down on my phone and writing them down on paper. And I was like, I don't know if this one's better than that one, or that one's better than this one, and vice versa. And I added people and I took people off. And
yeah, me too.
And what's funny is, what's crazy is that at work today, I was reminded of shows and characters that I totally forgotten about. And I was like,
right, exactly.
Yeah. So we'll get into that here shortly. And again, we have our 5 sequels that you and I feel are better than the original, is what we'll do. So I'm sure without a doubt, which is a good thing, which is a great thing, by the way, I'm sure without a doubt that my 5 are going to differ from your 5. So
probably.
Yeah, you probably have stuff that I've never seen before.
I actually think some of my sequels, it's not that they're better, it's that they're just as good as the original, because some of the originals were just really special when they came out, so it's hard to top them. But, just for nostalgic reasons. But,
Well, I'll tell you one sequel that what we're going to have to do too is later on we'll have to do 5 horrible.
Yeah.
5 horrible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's much easier.
I can tell you right now, the worst, not just sequel, probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life was Undercover Brother 2.
Oh my god! At least that has humor value to it to some extent.
Now, were you even aware that existed?
I wasn't actually. No,
Yeah. I saw it. It was about a year or so ago. I believe it was on Hulu, and it was
that's a
brutal.
shame.
It was brutal. So one day when I'm not feeling well and I just want to feel worse,
You
there's-
watched that?
well, no. There's also Kindergarten Cop 2.
That I think I've heard of.
It has Dolph Lundgren in it.
Yes, I have heard of it.
So I'm gonna.
Don't hate on Dolph though. He was Ivan Drago.
What do you know? What Dolph was good. Yeah, Ivan Drago was. Rocky 4 was my favorite Rocky. So
Yeah.
and a lot of people will say that 1 and 2 was better or whatever, but Rocky 4 was my favorite Rocky.
Me too.
Yeah, with Ivan Drago. What's scary is that I'm sorry. Let me say it like she says it. Brigitte
Nielsen.
Brigitte Nielsen. Her and Stallone actually had a relationship.
Yeah, they did. A really infamous one.
Yeah. She was a beautiful woman when she was in Rocky, and then
And Red Sonja.
Yeah. And of course, time, alcohol, and probably drugs kind of scaled it down a few notches. And when you go from Stallone to Flavor Flav, that's a pretty hard stumble.
Yeah. I don't know. I still like her. I know she, I do. I still think she's, I don't know. You see her in Beverly Hills Cop 2, and then you see her in Red Sonja and Rocky 4. I mean, she's really special. So I don't know. She's something else when you see her.
Well, I tell you this, if aliens come down and they catch an episode of Flavor of Love,
they might leave. They might pack it up and
go. I think they'll immediately turn around and say, you know what, we're good here.
That or Rock of Love, or what was the other one with the two brothers?
Oh,
what was it?
Chance and
yeah, it was Real Chance at Love. That's what it was called, I think.
Yeah, one of them.
Real.
Yeah, I think they were brothers, and one was Chance, and I can't think of what the other one was called.
Real. His name was Real.
Oh, Real. Okay.
Real. It was. I think the show was called Real Chance at Love or something like that. But they were Real and Chance.
That's okay. So there goes the name, Real and Chance. Yeah, that was.
I'm almost positive. I could be wrong. Someone can correct me.
Well, if I remember correctly, in the end, they didn't pick anybody, or one of them didn't pick anybody.
They never end up with anybody. If they do, it doesn't work out. Don't you know this? I mean, Bret Michaels should not have to go on TV to find someone to be with.
It's sad. It's sad. But you know what? I'll give Bret Michaels credit though, because he went and he got the hair plugs and he got all this and all that. He's trying his hardest to continue to still be Bret Michaels. Yeah. So did you happen to catch him on? Well, first of all, do you watch Masked Singer?
I don't. I've only watched one clip of it because Mickey Rourke was on there, which I don't even know how that happened, but he was, and that's all I really watched. I've never really gotten into it. I don't really care.
Oh man, that's terrible. I promise you.
I know. I don't know.
What Mickey Rourke was on there because he was on not the first show ever, but the season that he was on there, he was one of the first contestants to come out. And after his song, he just stopped and just took his mask off. I was like, I'm done.
I know, I saw it. And I was
and they asked him, they asked him why he was on there, and he said, I just did it for the money. I think he was drunk. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he was drunk.
Leave Mickey alone. Don't go there. That's a sacred subject.
No, I'm not making fun of him.
I know you're not. I'm just
saying, I think he looked drunk. So, but no, it's a good show. I started out of boredom whenever the first season was on, because it was, I don't know, maybe three years ago or something like that. The whole season thing always messes me up, because in your mind you think season, you think one calendar year. So
right, yeah.
So they have like 2 or 3 seasons in one whole year now. But anyway, the show started out in the beginning as the first season had celebrities that you hadn't seen in years, and they had like Margaret Chow and of course Donny Osmond's still relevant because he does Vegas, but they had Donny Osmond and they had T-Pain. T-Pain actually sang and he didn't use auto tune. And in the end, I don't think you're gonna go back and watch, but in the end, T-Pain won season 1. They didn't know who he was because he didn't use auto tune, which by the way, he can really sing. And they had other people on there like Bruce Willis's daughter, Rumor Willis, can sing. I never watched, what was the show, Empire? She was on Empire.
I didn't watch it.
But Rumor Willis can actually sing. So they had other people on there. They had Tori Spelling on there and things like that. But as the show got popular, just like any other show that starts out in the summertime show, whatever the case may be, their budget got bigger and they got to spend more money and invite more people on. So, they've gone from everything from Seal to Patti LaBelle to Chaka Khan to I'll tell you a good one that was on there that was really, really good was
Mel.
well, hold on. I'll finish up. Hold on. One that was really good. One that was really good was Taylor Dayne.
Oh, yeah, of course, it's Taylor Dayne.
Now, the moment that she sang, I immediately knew who she was.
You know who? I'm sure you knew who it was.
Yeah, she so but not to bore you to death with the mass singer.
No, I just
Well, what it is as soon as we get off here, you want to go on Hulu and watch it. I can see the excitement in your face.
None.
Excitement in your face. But speaking of singers, though, like we were talking about earlier, unfortunately, we had a passing yesterday, I believe.
Poor Biz.
Biz Markie, and it's. Of course, it's crazy how, as you get older, you see people from your childhood start to pass away, artists and actors and actresses and, everybody. But yeah, the old Biz passed away yesterday. I think he was 57, I believe.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, they said.
Just a friend, man.
Yeah, that was my very first cassette tape. I kid you not.
Really?
Yeah. My sister got it for me for Christmas one year.
It's a great Christmas gift.
Yeah. Biz was great. I mean, he really was. He, people may look at him. I don't know if he was, and I don't even want to use this word, so I'll try something different. I don't know if he had mental issues or not. I honestly don't know. But Biz was great. I mean, he's a pioneer of rap. Good old Biz Markie. So.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, I try to put aside whatever, like I think I've told you this in the past before, some people do really strange things or odd things or really bad things or whatever. And I try to, not forget that they did that, but remember what they did do at one point that was really special. So, I mean, I don't know about mental issues or anything like that, but I mean, I know he was Biz Markie. It was pretty.
Yeah. Yeah, his one of the greatest things outside of music that he did was in Men in Black 2 when he was in the post office and he started, he started beatboxing with Will Smith.
Right.
Yeah, very, very awesome. Well, what we'll do, I'll tell you what we'll do first.
I'm ready.
You are ready. We'll roll in. And we'll get you next time. We'll get you to put some pictures. I don't think you have any pictures for me. So what we'll do is give me a sequel. Give me a sequel of yours that you find is better than the original. What do you think?
Lethal Weapon 2.
Yeah. I
mean, not that I don't like the first one. I love the first one, but I love the second one.
Now, that's the one
with the South Africans. My brother and I are constantly joking with that movie. I mean, it's that scene with Joe Pesci and Danny Glover when they go to the bank. I mean, it's priceless.
Yeah.
And that's the toilet bomb movie. I mean, there's all kinds of great stuff in that movie.
We used to joke all the time. Me and a guy at work, we used to always say, when Danny Glover walks into the what was the building called? The embassy, I believe it was an
The
embassy.
embassy.
Yeah, and he says he wants to go to South Africa, and the guy was like, "But
Well, that's the bank. Isn't it the bank, though? I thought it was a bank. Maybe it's the embassy. You're
maybe,
right. It probably is. And he
but
says, why would you want to go there?
yeah, he goes, but you're black."
But
So,
you're black.
so because he wanted to go to South Africa, yeah. So every time we would work, I work with the guys. He was a white dude, and he'd always look at me when nobody looked, and he goes, but you're black." I actually, my buddy that I've known since I was a kid, Gary, and I work with, he says Terminator. Now, Gary, I know you, and I know you better than that, so I'm assuming that you forgot to put the 2
The
on
2 next to it. T2.
Yeah. So Gary's better. He just forgot to put the 2.
That's okay.
But you know what's funny though is that you mentioned Lethal Weapon 2,
Mhm.
and I really didn't want to stretch it past like an actual like sequel.
Right. It's hard though.
I really wanted to put down Lethal Weapon 3 because
Oh, I understand. Not go past the 2, but
yeah,
I was trying not to pick ones that had more than 2, but that's impossible. I couldn't even do it.
yeah. I really wanted to put part 3 because I personally like part 3 because it brings in Joe Pesci and Rene Russo.
Well, Joe Pesci was in the second one though.
Oh, that's right. And then
Yeah. He's the one that took Danny Glover. My friend wants to come to your country. I mean,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. That's what he does the whole movie.
He's I love him in part 4 when they're on the boat.
Yeah.
And he hopefully I won't freeze up here because my connection's kind of spotty for some reason. I love it in part 4 in the beginning when they're on the boat and he gets mad because Danny Glover's saying nautical terms to him, and he's like what's an aft, and he was like AFT, and he gets all mad and he goes he says something like pump your effing aft or whatever, and I was like oh, Joe Pesci. I actually let me see something here. Hold on.
So is Terminator 2 your first one?
Well, I actually have Terminator 2. Yeah, I actually have Terminator.
So did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
So I have Terminator 2.
Not that I don't like the first one. The second one has, I don't know. You have Robert Patrick and you can't kill him because he melts, and I mean it's just
He was so creepy looking too when he walked. He
perfect.
He definitely put off the robot thing. Put off the robot thing. Yeah. And he was real creepy, and plus just the movie overall was it was this huge. It was everywhere, from the soundtrack with Guns N' Roses to the video games and the merchandise, the T-shirts and the cups, and the toys, and it was just huge.
Oh yeah,
really big. So yeah, let me take that down. So
I think a lot of people, especially around my age or your age, saw the second one before they saw the first one.
Well, I can't remember which one I saw first.
Me either, but I think that a lot of people probably saw the second one before they saw the first one.
Yeah, especially people like around our age. So
that's right. Yeah.
Well, of course, when the second one come out, you know how they do on TBS and TNT. They go and they play the first one,
right?
While the other one's out in the theater, so you can go back and see. But the first Terminator, I honestly the most I've watched it numerous times, but as far as my memory goes versus the second one, just vaguely, because it was so long ago. And of course, you always remember the scene when he comes down, he's naked, and he's standing there looking like Mr. Olympus or something. I don't know, but they said, I read somewhere that Linda Hamilton, I think that's her name, that plays Sarah Connor.
It is. Yeah.
They said that she came up with the idea in Terminator 2 for Sarah Connor to be all crazy. And that she came up with, because if you remember,
good for her to be nuts. Everybody would think she was nuts if you were preaching about some, robot coming to kill you. Yeah.
Well, aliens are always a touchy subject. You can't just run around and say aliens are coming.
But he's not even an alien, though. He's a cyborg from the future. Come back to kill her, and then kill her unborn child, and then come back to kill her son.
Yeah. Give me just a second here. I want to make sure that we're still good because my connection. I don't know why it's spotty. I can hear you. I can hear your kitty.
I was gonna say, can you hear him?
Yeah, he's
anybody who's listening. That's my cat Gruber, named for Hans Gruber from Die Hard. He's mad. He's not being paid attention to right now.
Oh.
And there's no door on the room, so I can't. Oh, here he comes. He's coming for a visit. Here he is.
Hey, look at Hans.
Hi, everybody. Gruber, no. God, don't step on the screen, please.
No, he's good. He's good.
He was gonna step on the keys, and then we'd have a problem when I disappear.
Yeah. Well, normally my cat would be doing this. I don't even know where he is. He's actually behind me, laying on the floor. I was checking the connection. I don't know what's going on with my internet. Check the. Give me your number 2. Give me, and I know it's not in order, but just give me your second sequel that you feel is better than the original.
Another 48 Hours.
That's right. You were an Eddie Murphy gal.
I mean, I love the original. I have the original poster framed in my she cave here, but I love the second one because the character of Cherry Gans coming to kill Reggie Hammond and Jack Cates because they killed his brother. I mean, it's just a good one. It's really good. You have the Iceman and all these people. I mean, it was just a really good one.
Yeah. Eddie was rolling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was rolling in the 80s and the early 90s, and Eddie was the man. As a kid,
Eddie's still the man.
He's still the man. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, just me personally, as a kid, I never really saw everything that how big he was as an entertainer, because when you're a kid, you know about Eddie from SNL, and you know him about his stand-up Raw and Delirious and movies that he'd been in. But when I go back now and I look back now and I see his overall body of work, specifically in the 80s and the early 90s, it's just mind-blowing.
Pretty impressive. And everybody always forgets about Trading Places. I mean, it's a great Christmas movie. It's a great movie in general.
With Dan Aykroyd, right?
That's right. And they did make Funko Pops of that.
You know what? I honestly think that I have that on VHS. I kid you not.
No, that's not. I mean, that's not surprising.
Yeah, I think I honestly have that on VHS.
I have betas in the background.
Oh, Betamax! Wow.
I have their VHSs there too, but yeah.
Betamax.
Who knew? Yeah.
Yeah. My next one, my second one, and again, these aren't in order. My second one would be Austin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I honestly, I hadn't even watched Austin Powers before until this movie, because I was never big on Mike Myers.
Oh, I like Mike Myers.
And when the first one come out, I think it was International Man of Mystery, I think that's what it was.
Right.
I wasn't feeling it. And what happened is when the second one had come out and it started playing on TV, TBS or Teen, I think TBS. And there's the scene where they're sitting at the table and he does the whole shh. He does the let me tell you a little story about a man named Shh. And I thought I was walking through the house and I saw that and I thought it was the funniest thing ever. And I said, you know what, I'm going to give this movie a chance. And the only reason I ever watched it was because of that. But the reason why I think the second one is better than the first one is because the second one introduces Mini Me. The second one,
right,
it introduces Fat Bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I always thought that the second one was better. The third one was good, but it wasn't as good as the second one.
Right.
So that's my second sequel that I think is better than the
The
first.
first one.
Yeah, so I have Terminator 2 and I have Austin Powers, the spy who shagged me. What's another one for you?
So we have so far on my list Lethal Weapon 2, another 48 hours, and then clearly the next one will be Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Eddie, yes.
And it's not just because of Eddie. I love that one. I mean, you've gotten to know them in the first one, and he comes out with that Detroit Lions jacket, which is just so cool. Um, and I had to buy one because I was like obsessed with it since I've been a kid, and I bought one as I got older. eBay had them, and I was like, oh, I gotta have one, so I bought one. I just love that one. And Bridget Nielsen is in that one, and she's great. She walks into that jewelry store right in the beginning. She's got her stopwatch and that long white trench coat, and I mean, I love that one.
Yeah. Hey, there's nothing wrong with getting movie memorabilia.
Memorabilia.
Yes, thank you. Movie memorabilia.
I'm aware. I know. It's just, I mean, it's like the last thing I needed to buy myself, but I had to have it. And in the new Venom, Tom Hardy's wearing that coat, but it's just been, it's like a gray and black color. It's not the white, gray, and blue, or well, that white, black, blue. It's not the Eddie Murphy version, but it's the same coat. It's just in a different color.
Well, one thing, I don't have it personally. One thing that I do want, and I don't have it, I will get it one day, is I will get Al Bundy's Polk High football jersey.
Yeah, that would be something very cool to have.
Yes, and I would 4 touchdowns in one game. I will get that. I will get that jersey.
When they came out with the Married with Children Funkos, there were 2 versions of Al. There was Al, and then there was Polk High Al, and I of course bought Polk High Al in his football uniform.
Yeah, see that's the thing with the Pops. I didn't even know how far the licensing went.
It just goes and goes and goes forever. It's my kryptonite. Really is.
Well, you are one among, I'm sure, of
millions. There are millions of people like me.
Yeah, probably so. I run into a guy all the time at Walmart that I went to school with, and he's always telling me about the Funko Pops that he's got. He's like, man, I spent $80 million on this one and that one.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay. Which I don't even knock people for doing that, because I mean, obviously, I've collected toys and comics over the years and things like that, but I don't knock people for what they spend on whatever it is that they buy as far as collecting stuff goes, because for years I collected shoes, and at some point I had over like 200 pair of shoes, and probably 180 of them had never even been taken, not just out of the box, but I'm talking about the paper that folds over the shoes. Never. So
right.
Yeah. So little by little, I got to the point where like, man, I'm never going to wear these. And I just started giving them away or selling for 20, 30 bucks or whatever. So, but there's nothing wrong with that, because I think the most I spent for a pair of shoes was like $200. And this was $200 like, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. So now,
yeah.
So now $200 for a pair of shoes. I mean, that's almost the norm, because where they're re-releasing all these retros, and it's just ridiculous.
Especially all the Jordans and everything. They're really expensive.
Yeah. So the $200 pair, as a matter of fact, were Jordans. They were the Jordans. Of
course. What else would they have been at that time?
Yeah. They were the Jordans in the briefcase. I don't know if you know which ones those are. But
no, I don't, but I probably should, but I don't.
It's okay. It's okay. So another one for me. You've got 48 hours. You've got what was the other Eddie one?
Lethal Weapon.
Well, no, the other Eddie one.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, that's right. Beverly Hills Cop, Lethal Weapon, 48 hours.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
And Terminator.
Maybe I might know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
We'll take a stab at it.
No. We're talking about Eddie Murphy.
Well, no. I thought you was referring to what you thought I was going to say.
Oh no! Well, I thought. Well, you said something about Eddie Murphy, so I thought you were gonna. Your next one was an Eddie Murphy movie. I just thought that, but maybe not.
No.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
That was a guess, though. You care to venture a guess?
No, how would I know? I mean, it's such a wide range. I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
you picked. I mean, T2 I could have guessed, but Austin Powers would have never guessed that. So go ahead and tell us. Go ahead. I don't want to try to guess.
Well, I think it's safe to say that T2 probably would have been for almost anybody. So
It's on my list. So yeah.
I went with the
Uh,
Matrix Reloaded.
oh,
Not a Matrix fan.
no,
Oh man.
I don't know why. I've just never. I don't know. I just never got into it.
Is
I
it
don't
because
know.
everybody's in leather pants? Is that what it is?
No, that would be. Hello, another 48 Hours was on my list. You think the bikers aren't in leather?
That's right.
I don't think it has anything to do with that. And I actually like Lawrence Fishburne a lot, and I just never. I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. I'll have to try it again, maybe.
The third one's awful.
Well, okay, but I'll have to try the first one again then. I
Yeah.
don't even think I've seen the second one or the third one.
Oh man. You don't know what you're missing.
I know. All right, I'll try it just for you. I'll try it.
Well, since you've got one left, and I have
Have
two.
I done 4 already? Did I do 4?
Well, what happened was is
Oh.
we both had Terminator 2.
Oh, well, I have others. I can take that off the list.
Well, okay, we'll go ahead and hit us with another one.
Do you not? You don't have 5? If you take T2 off, you can have T2. I'll pick a different one.
Okay, well, by all means, go ahead.
All right, so Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
I little by little have been trying to watch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I think they're actually good.
They are good. I mean, I like the second one better because of Davy Jones's locker, and I just like that one better than the first one. They're all, I mean, they're pretty good, decent, most of them, but I do like the second one better. What did you say?
Is it like 5 or 6 of them?
I think they're 5.
Yeah. Those were something that they at least for me anyway, they came out so quickly. I was like, holy cow, there's like 3 of them, by now.
That would be easy.
Yeah, and Johnny Depp was rolling for a while. I mean,
he was.
Caribbean. He did what didn't he do? Was it Zorro?
Johnny Depp? Did he do Zorro? No, that was Antonio Banderas, wasn't it?
Disney did a movie, and Johnny Depp was in it. And I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was Zorro. I think it was
Zorro was Antonio Banderas. I'm almost positive.
Well, yeah, there was that one.
Oh, was there another one? I didn't realize there was another one.
There was one. I'll figure out what it was here in a minute. But there was one that did. What's the characters? I think one of them maybe like Toto or something. Or oh, let me see. Hold on.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's probably something clear and obvious. I'm just not figuring it out.
Johnny Depp. Let me see here. Give me just a second. I've never seen Ed Wood, by the way.
Oh, you haven't?
No. The Lone Ranger is what it was, what I was thinking of.
Oh, yeah, where he was Tonto, not Toto. Toto is Dorothy's dog. Tonto, where he was Tonto.
Well, it was close, Tonto.
Oh, yeah, that's really close.
Yeah, Tonto, Toto, it's the same thing. But
I'm sure the Native Americans don't feel that way.
The names are close,
Mm-hmm.
Like I always tell them at work, Melvin Denzel. It's very similar. Very similar. Melvin Denzel. So very, very similar. What my what was your movie? I started laughing at myself and I totally forgot.
Sorry.
What was the movie that you said because you had to replace Terminator 2? What was it again?
I said Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Oh yes, yeah, that's right. That's where we were talking about Johnny Depp. Yeah, Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay.
Way to get off track there, Mel.
I'm telling you. Okay, so another one for me. We've got Terminator 2. We've got The Matrix Reloaded. We've got Austin Powers. Another one for me is The Dark Knight.
Mm-mm.
You're not a fan of The Dark Knight, huh?
I like Bane better.
Oh, you like the third one better.
Hmm.
That one was good. That one was
I'm
really
nothing against The Dark Knight. I don't know. There've been a lot of good Jokers, okay? I mean, nothing. I mean, nothing against Heath Ledger's Joker. I just, I don't know.
what of the Jokers. Who was your favorite?
Oh, well, that's hands down easy. But now, prior to The Dark Knight, before, because it's Jared Leto. I mean, that's like the best Joker ever. His
I
Joker is the coolest Joker of all time. I mean, but before that movie came, so when Dark Knight came out, that movie didn't exist. No one had seen
right,
Jared Leto's Joker yet. So if I had to go before that, it was Jack Nicholson.
yeah. I tried to when the Dark Knight had come out. I had to explain to a guy who was he was several years younger than us, and he went and seen the Dark Knight, and he was like, "Oh, this is so much better than the original." Talking about the Tim Burton Batman, blah blah blah. And I tried to explain to him the way that we people our age view the Tim Burton Batman films, and I tried to explain to him that those two films were the first time that we actually saw the Dark Knight as the Dark Knight.
We
Before that,
finally saw Batman as like this really, yeah, that was before, yeah. But prior to that, we just had Adam West.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I mean, Tim Burton's Batman's that was Michael Keaton was a good Batman.
yeah, and we just had Adam West in those gray and those gray tights and everything like that. So it
With
was.
the blue, yeah, underwear.
I want to apologize to the people that are watching this. We might go out here for a few seconds every now and then because my connection's having some issues here, but it's the internet and it happens, and it's been raining, so that might be an issue with it too. But I can see on the screen when it kind of jumbles. But I had to explain to him how huge of a movie that was, the Tim Burton Batman, even
Yeah,
though
Prince did the soundtrack. There were
yeah,
Converse made tennis shoes. There was, I mean, it was a big deal. The first
yeah,
one.
big deal. So, but I'll have to go back and watch the Jared Leto Batman with that was
Suicide Squad.
yeah, Suicide Squad. Right. Okay.
He has such a small part, actually. If you think about it, he's not in it very long. But the parts he's in, he's just really good.
He's actually I have seen it. He's more what would you say, homicidal
Oh,
than
he's just straight up like gangster Joker. He's like, yeah, he's a true sociopath, just psychotic. I mean, he's just really nutso. He's not as, I don't know, not that Heath Ledger isn't in his version. I don't know. Jared Leto, you almost want to like him, and then you have to remind yourself he's nuts,
right. Oh yeah. Now I still haven't seen the one with what was it, Joaquin Phoenix? Just a straight
Oh, that's where
Joker.
look, that was a really good movie. I mean, that was really good. I didn't dislike it. I was surprised how much I did like it. I didn't expect to like it so much, but I did.
Yeah. So I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. So I've got one left, and
I've
then
got one left.
okay.
Oh,
So go ahead and hit me.
Aliens.
I and when I say this, I'm not much it was not even a scary movie really, but there's a lot of movies growing up that I just didn't get into. I didn't get into scary movies. I didn't get. I am a fan of Predator, so I
Oh,
guess Aliens and Predator are kind of similar. I guess.
but the second one wasn't any good. So I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't better than the first one. Predator.
You know my Predator. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So I still haven't watched the remake of it, but I think I'm good. Yeah. So
Well,
Alien.
you do know though, the guy that directed the remake was in the original.
Oh, you're talking about Carl Weathers?
No, the
Oh,
guy who directs the remake of what is it called? The Predator.
yeah.
It's called The Predator. The
Mhm.
guy who directs that was in the original Predator. He was one
Oh,
of the guys in the group.
you. I got you.
I can't remember his name, but he was one of them, and it's not you know, he was kind of the smaller guy and he had glasses. I think I'm almost positive that's the guy who directs the new one.
I got you. I got you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, Carl Weathers didn't direct The Predator.
Was he? He was in the original though, wasn't he?
Of course he was. Yeah,
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought.
that's the most famous with the arm wrestling,
What is it?
where they arm wrestle each other. Arnold
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers. And
Okay.
they slap hands, and you can see their muscles. And it's like,
Well, you know what? It sounds like a pretty hot, steamy scene.
it's sort of is kind of like. I mean, it is a little actually, but
Yeah, well, I'm good in that aspect of it, but I think I'm okay. But so my last one,
Your last one.
and then we'll get to the characters. My last one, and you can say this is a sequel. You can say it's not a sequel. I call it a sequel, but my last one.
That was on my list.
Yeah. So and probably just like you, I kind of thought about it. Well, you might have some people.
That's what was on my list, and I even said, but is it considered a sequel?
I think
I
it is.
had that next to my notes.
Yeah, I call it a sequel.
It is. I mean, if you're going, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a sequel to me.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Yeah, absolutely. So we weren't too far off. I mean, other than you're Eddie Murphy.
I have one more I want to just kind of mention because
Well,
I feel like I should, and I at least for my brother's sake should say it. The Godfather 2. I mean, that's by far out of the Godfathers, it's the best one.
Now were there 3 Godfathers or 2?
Yes, 3.
There were 3. Okay.
And look, and I'm a huge James Caan fan, so like number 1, I like it because James Caan is in it, but number 2 is the best one.
Now, which one is it where they cut the horse's head off and puts it?
The first one. That's with Robert Duvall. Yeah, Robert Duvall's in charge of that little bit of business.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't even think about those films, the Godfather, anything like that.
It was actually the first one on my list. I just, because I'm just going off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm. Well, you did very, very, very good for remembering that stuff. So
I tried.
Hey, you succeeded. You succeeded. Hey guys, don't forget. Let me plug this again here. Don't forget on Tuesday, we'll be doing with Tim live from Third Floor Comics on Tuesday around 3 p.m. or so. Don't forget about that. If you haven't already, be sure to go to the Third Floor Comics Facebook page, like it, follow it. Tim always has great stuff on there. He does live shows on Fridays.
Friday.
Yeah, and I believe I feel bad for not knowing this. I believe there's one on Tuesdays. What? No, was it Wednesday?
It's like Wednesday, but is it live? I wasn't sure if it was live or not. I thought he puts this up on Facebook and you can bid on it.
That's right. But the live
and I think it goes on Tuesday and ends on Wednesday. But Fridays at 8:30 to about 10:30 is the live stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is right. So don't forget to check those out. And if you haven't already, again, follow the page, and I'll post it up here again. It's Third Floor Comics. It's on Facebook, and he's got all kinds of great stuff, toys and comics and everything you can think of there in the Nitro Antique Mall. So what we're going to do now is, now you did write down your list of your, or you have it.
I have it. I do have it. Let me pull it up on my phone. I do have it.
All that extra work, you gotta pull it up on your phone. He was like, oh, I gotta.
I mean, I probably could remember most of them, but I do have a list. Yeah.
What I'm going to do here. Let me make sure I don't click off the screen. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through some shows real quick, and some of them we may have forgotten, some of them we may not have known at all. So this is IMDb.
DB.
I can't read. I can't pronounce. I can't anything today. IMDb. Their 25 greatest sitcoms of the 70s. And I'll run through these before you and I give our top 10
Hold
characters.
on, the 70s? What year were you born, Mel?
What I was born in 78, but what you got to realize though is you got to
I'm
realize
just saying, no, I'm not. Go ahead. I just, I don't
no,
know
what,
if I've seen some of them.
sure, this is what I was
I'm
going to say.
sure I've
I,
heard
I
of them and
guarantee
I know them. I just,
most of them you've seen, and I'll tell you why. If you
because they
remember,
rolled over into the 80s.
yes, if you remember when we were kids, the reruns in the 80s
That's true.
were the shows from the 70s and 60s. Like
That's true.
I remember when I would come home from school, and it'd be after 3 o'clock or whatever, and the moment that MASH came on, it was time for me
No.
to go outside. I hated MASH.
My mom loves MASH. That's like her
Well,
favorite.
well, it was a big show, but I didn't understand it because it took me. MASH was very mature. It was very adult, and I didn't get it because I was a kid. But the main reason why I didn't like MASH is because part of it was in black and white, and I hated black and white television.
Oh,
So when stuff like so in the 80s, reruns on TV for us were like Leave It to Beaver and Bewitched and
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy. Well, yeah, and I think half of it was black and white. She got into color later on. There was
Yeah,
only
I don't remember seeing it in color, but I'm sure it did. I just don't remember.
I may be
I
wrong,
only know it is black and white, but
but I know for a fact it was in black and white.
I'm sure you're right. I just don't remember.
Hmm. But many of the reruns that were on TV were black and white, and it was just bad. Like I hated Andy Griffith. The moment I heard that
Oh
dude,
my god!
well, it was because it was in black and white.
Ron Howard was on Andy Griffith.
Hey, we had no idea that Ron Howard was going to grow up to do big things. Had no
But that's the thing. We get to say we saw him win.
we had no idea. I mean, even in Happy Days, you're like, oh, well, that's little Opie from freaking I forgot the freaking Andy Griffith show.
Andy Griffith's show.
But yeah, when the black and white shows came on, it was time to go. So some of these I do remember. But according to IMDb, the top 25 sitcoms of the 70s are number 25, Odd Couple, 24, Rhoda. Never heard of Rhoda.
Oh my god.
See,
Rhoda,
you were just getting on me for saying that. Well, I might not know somebody.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That hurts my feelings, by the way.
Sorry.
See,
I'm supposed to hurt your feelings. That's the point.
you know more than what you put on.
It's supposed to make fun of you. It's
That's
healthy.
right.
It's healthy banter.
So apparently, Rhoda was a spinoff from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yes. 23 is Soap. I do remember Soap.
Yeah.
22.
And then Benson,
Yeah, Benson. Yes, Benson came from Soap. Yeah.
Soap.
Mm-hmm. And the lady, the lady and Soap, the redhead lady, was Mona, and who's the boss?
Catherine Hellman.
Yeah. And the I can't think of what his name is, but the one guy on the show, he went on to be on the show Empty Nest.
Oh yeah, Richard. I can't think of his last name.
Mulligan. The only reason I told you that is because I'm looking at his name on the screen. I wouldn't have guessed it for the world, but I knew who he was.
No, but he was also in it's in like a Christmas movie with whatever. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was looking to see, but yeah, I wouldn't have guessed Richard Mulligan's name for nothing. 22 is Chico and the Man. I do not remember that.
I never watched that, but I know of it. Yeah.
21 is Alice. I think everybody our age knows Alice.
Yep.
20 is One Day at a Time. Everybody knows One Day at a Time. Never did watch the reboot of it.
I did. It was actually really good.
Yeah, I'd seen something where it was canceled, and there were some people talking about how they were disappointed because they thought it was a really good show.
I just liked it for oh god, now I blanked on his name.
See, I'm rubbing off on you.
Schneider. Now, I just liked it for Schneider. The guy who played the Schneider character was priceless. He's like loaded, rich. And it's just funny, that portion of it. and Rita Moreno
The only reason I ever remembered Shiner as a kid because he always had that pack of cigarettes rolled up in his
in his sleep.
yeah.
He was wearing the jean vest with the
Yeah. This one everybody remembers. 19 is What's Happening. 18 Mork and Mindy. 17 WKRP in Cincinnati. What's
there's the reference. I'm Johnny Fever in this situation. You are Venus Flytrap.
Yeah, Venus. That's right, Venus Flytrap. I remember as a kid, Lonnie Anderson and
oh yeah, of course,
her and Burt Reynolds and
well, yeah, not on the show, but yeah,
not on the show, yeah, but yeah, I
love Herb. I named my first. I had a little rumblefish, a Siamese fighting fish, and I named him Herb after Herb on WKRP in Cincinnati, which is like, not Andy, who's like best looking one out of all of them, but I named him after Herb in his leisure suit.
I remember there was an episode where the one guy that played Rock, I can't remember what his name was. He went on to be the teacher in Head of the Class.
Oh, Johnny Fever?
Yes.
Howard Hessman.
Yeah, he got in trouble because he said booger on the radio. He was like booger, and he got in trouble for it. I remember that episode. Head of the Class. Wow.
It's another good show.
It really was. 16, Barney Miller. I remember Barney Miller. 15 is Taxi. I remember Taxi. That was a good one. That cast was loaded. 14, The Partridge Family, which I know what it was. If it came on TV, I
never watched it. There was a bus and a lot of singing involved. I didn't really care.
Yeah. The Bob Newhart Show. Never understood.
That was a good one. This is my brother Daryl and my other brother. That was a good one.
That's what. Well, no, that was the later one though.
Oh, whatever. But it was whatever. It was still. I don't know. I like Bob Newhart.
Yeah, but this is my brother Daryl. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I thought his humor was dry. I just never got into.
That's the best part about it. That he's so kind of like dry. Go ahead.
Welcome Back, Kotter. I caught it a couple of times. I really never got into it.
Mr. Kotter.
Yeah, John Travolta. Absolutely. Number 11 is The Jeffersons. Number 10 is Good Times. I don't know how Good Times was ranked over The Jeffersons. Couldn't tell you.
Wait, what now?
On this IMDb list of the top 25 sitcoms in the 70s, I don't know how they have Good Times ranked over The Jeffersons.
What? Oh, really? Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, it was
Good
fun.
Times is a great show. It had all kinds of morals in it and stuff, and then Janet Jackson was on it. I mean, Good Times was. I prefer Good Times over The Jeffersons, and nothing against The Jeffersons. I love The Jeffersons, but I definitely rank Good Times over The Jeffersons.
Oh man,
John Amos, and come on, it was a great show. There was a moral to every episode. There was one episode where JJ got VD and he had to go to a clinic.
Oh man!
I mean that show had all kinds of subjects in it that were kind of like,
Yeah, well, there was always the creepy uncle touching you or the neighbor. The all that episode. I think Janet was part of one of those episodes.
I think The Jeffersons was more not that Good Times wasn't funny. I think The Jeffersons was more of a pretty funny show, whereas the Good Times it was real funny, and you had Jimmy Walker's Dynamite and all that stuff, but there was always something real serious going on that show. Yeah. It had a serious surrounding to it,
I tell you,
that might be why.
Well, I always used to laugh because of how pissed off Dave Chappelle would get when people thought he was Jimmy Walker.
Oh God, I would never think that, but okay.
Yeah, people used to think he was Jimmy Walker.
No.
I'm guessing this one's pronounced Made. It's Maude. I've never heard of
Maud.
it. Maud.
Maude. Is that how it's spelled?
Maude. Maud.
Maud.
It says it was the All in the Family spinoff.
Maud. Yeah.
Centered around Edith's cousin, Maud Findlay, a liberal, independent woman living in Tuckahoe, New York. That's a bad name for a neighborhood. Tuckahoe. My girlfriend's from Tuckahoe.
One time I passed a self-storage place, a storage facility, and it was called Tuck It Away Self-Storage. And I thought, my first thought was, that's what Buffalo Bill would own. That's what.
Oh.
That was my first thought. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go on
No,
to the next.
I always get amazed at people's creativity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There is a place in Kentucky. I can't remember if it's in Lexington or if it's in Ashland. I can't remember. There's a restaurant called Huge Ass Burgers, and it's HUGH, and then J. I think it's JAZZ Burgers. Huge
Ass. So
Yeah.
Hugh, like the name Hugh.
Yeah, Huge Ass Burgers.
And then I get it.
Huge Ass Burgers. So yeah, it's in Kentucky somewhere. I've actually seen. I've never eaten there, but number 8 is Three's Company, one of my all-time favorites.
Jack Tripper.
Yeah, number 7, Sanford and Son.
Fred Sanford.
Yeah,
there's a pop of Fred Sanford, just so you know.
Grady was my boy. I always loved Grady. Number 6 is the Brady Bunch. Number 5 is Laverne and Shirley. I thought that was a good show. Good old Penny Marshall.
Yep.
I do miss the days of Penny Marshall and what's her name? Used to do the, was it Kohl's commercials? Her and
oh god.
Oh, what's the lady that used to hang out with Madonna that played in League of Their Own? She's on The View.
Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah, I think they used to do Kohl's commercials or something.
I don't know. I don't remember that. But
number 4 is Happy Days. Number 3 is the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah.
Number 2 is MASH. I never really, again, I didn't get into MASH until late, and it was in the seasons they were in color. I don't do black and white. And number 1 sitcom of the 70s, according to IMDb, is All.
Can I have a hint? Can I guess it? What is it? Oh, All in the Family.
All in the Family, yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead before we go into the other year, so we can knock these out. You go ahead and give me. I know that you don't have yours ranked. It's okay. You go ahead and give me one of your 10. Give me one of your 10 greatest. And again, I want to let people know that these my list personally is I took things into consideration, like the cultural impact of the character, not necessarily the show, but the character itself. So hopefully we're not breaking up because my wife.
Now, am I talking about any era?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, and we had discussed this. It didn't have to be TV. It could be any kind of sitcom or TV or show. Correct.
Sure, whether it be from Hulu or Netflix or Amazon. Now, I'm gonna tell you straight up that none of mine are from anything like that.
I think I only have 2 from, but I mean I can nix them without any problem.
No. These no,
I mean
But because
I'm gonna go with, for my first one. Well, I am wearing him on my shirt, so I'm gonna go with Colt Seavers from The Fall Guy.
Wow.
Lee Majors. I loved that when I was a kid. Yeah. Who knew being a stuntman was so fun like that?
Yeah.
Also a bounty hunter. Who knew? Actually, I think people knew stuntman work was fun. Who knew being a bounty hunter could be so much fun?
I used to watch The Fall Guy whenever it
was a great show.
Yeah. Fall Guy, without a doubt, was a good show. Good old Lee Majors. My neighbor had a one of the Mego dolls from the $6 Million Man. And I don't know if he had Lee Majors or he had one of the bad guys, but he had one of them. I think he had one of the play sets too. So, but yeah, The Fall Guy. Wow, I've forgotten all about The Fall Guy.
I love The Fall Guy.
I actually ranked mine. It's okay that you didn't do yours. It's okay. I don't think I told you I was going to rank them. I ranked mine. Now this one, my number 10 is going to throw you off. There's a reason why I put this person at number 10. and it's because I felt that the impact on the character will forever be embedded in people our ages' lives. Okay,
Okay.
are you ready?
Yep.
You're gonna get it. You're probably gonna give me a big WTF, but it's okay.
No, maybe not.
All right, you ready?
Hmm. Oh,
Zach
no.
Zach Morris.
I don't actually think WTF when I see that. I think he was a great character.
And the reason why I put him at number 10, and again, all and probably and yours probably too as well. Most of mine are interchangeable. I just chose them over something else because I felt that the character was stronger.
Right,
But
sure.
yeah, but most of mine are interchangeable with people that aren't on my list. But Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, he was. This is back when that was the only show that we had that wasn't a cartoon. Now kids nowadays they have more like live TV shows, like real people TV shows.
When they have lots of Netflix and stuff where they have all those shows. I
Yes,
mean,
and
H2O, Lemony Snicket. I mean, they're all these
sure,
for kids.
yeah. That was our only show that was for kids. Unless you had um HBO.
I agree with that, but I mean, it depends on what kind of kid you were
Well,
and what your parents let you watch. Because
well, yeah, but a kids show. I mean, there were other shows, that through the '80s that were targeted toward kids, but they still came on in prime time.
sure,
Saved by the Bell came on Saturdays, so that was kind of a that
right,
was
I
kind of
understand.
that was kind of a, of our thing. So, all right, so I got Zach Morris, and you had Lee Majors and Fall Guy. Give me another one.
David Addison, Bruce Willis from Moonlighting.
Oh wow, Bruce,
It was a funny show, and he was funny on it.
yeah,
And
and
no one knew. I mean, think about it. I remember when Die Hard came out, and my brother came home, and he was like, "Oh, you guys got to see this movie." And I was like, "Oh yeah, the guy from Moonlighting did a movie called Die Hard. How good could that be?" And it was like one of the best movies ever made.
little did he know.
No one knew. We were like,
Yeah,
"Oh, let's cast this guy. I think it'll work."
little did he know. Yeah, him and Sybil Shepherd had a great
They
chemistry.
they did, yeah.
Mhm. And she was, well, not was, she is absolutely beautiful, and she's a phenomenal, great
Oh yeah,
actress.
she's a pretty lady.
Yeah, and she was just incredible,
Yeah.
absolutely incredible. Let me make sure I don't know what's with my Wi-Fi. I pay the extra money for them to upgrade the crap. Maybe let me take a look at something real quick. Hold on. Maybe it's the rain. I'm not sure. Hold on. Missy Elliott's "I Can't Stand the Rain" is playing through my head right now. I
There
don't
was no reason to get it stuck in my head, thanks. You didn't need to go there.
have I don't have
Even
the
though it's on my
capability.
shuffle and I hear it almost every other day. So
Right. I okay. So my number I'm actually gonna switch these here.
okay.
So my number 8, my number 9 is
He was on my list. Yeah.
Jack Tripper, John Ritter from Three's Company.
Yep, absolutely.
Three's Company was it's probably the first show that I can remember as a kid that I understood the adult jokes. And I'll tell you a funny story. Whenever I would watch it, if my mom was in the room and I laughed at a joke, she'd look at me and say, "What are you laughing at?" And I just go,
Well,
yeah,
when that would come on, my mom would be like, "Elizabeth, Jack's on," and I couldn't get in front of the TV fast enough. I was just big crush on Jack Tripper.
yeah. He was
But I did secretly really like his dad, Larry, the downstairs neighbor. Of
oh,
course,
Larry was the man.
of
He
course, I did.
he was a pervert, but
No, he wasn't a pervert. He was just, he wasn't a pervert. He was just kind of, he knew what he liked. I
yeah,
don't know what else to say. He's
yeah,
very aggressive.
yeah, yeah. He was. He loved him some Lana too, even though Lana
I
didn't.
loved Lana. Lana was like the best. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I actually,
You still see her, okay? Well, you used to. Yeah.
I actually liked the I liked Terry the nurse better than I did Suzanne Summers.
I liked Cindy,
Oh, the cousin.
the cousin. She was my favorite. I always remember her. I think it was her first episode when she comes and she moves in. She's moving her stuff in, and like she has an inflatable raft for God knows what reason, and it implodes, and like it blows up. And Jack's trying to help her in the front door. It's priceless. She
Wow.
was so clumsy.
Mhm.
I mean, she just was so clumsy. Everything was an accident all the
But
time.
if I remember correctly, they brought her in first before Terry the nurse.
Yes, she was like right in between. She was Chrissy's cousin, and she came, and you kind of knew what to expect because she was her cousin, and then she was Chrissy wasn't exactly clumsy. She was just kind of dense, whereas Cindy was just really clumsy all the time. And then it was Terry.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anyone else.
No, 'Cause what they were trying to do is they were trying to really recreate Chrissy.
Right,
They
the same type of character, right?
Yes, yeah, and they just couldn't pull it off. And later on, it come out when Suzanne Summers came back that, or sometime when everything went down and Suzanne Summers wanted more money, whatever it was, they actually filmed the scenes separate. If you remember, later on in the show, she was always by herself, like she would be like in like in a
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Was that
yeah.
to be around anybody?
Yes, because
I didn't know that.
yeah, Suzanne Summers and John Ritter and then Joyce DeWitt didn't get along
No.
because Suzanne, because of her looks, she was trying to become like the face of the show. Pretty blonde girl. She was pretty and she was getting all the endorsements and things like that. And really, the show was really like John Ritter.
John Ritter was the show.
Yes, yeah, he was the show. So
You had other people. Look, Norman Fell and Don Knotts were really great people that were on that show. Yeah. I mean,
Mr. Roper was my boy.
Mr. Roper was the best.
Yeah.
Don Knotts was great. Don Knotts was perfect when he came in though, because he was like an old Larry. It's hilarious.
Yeah. The funniest thing though about Three's Company is the play on them thinking Jack was gay. And
of course.
yeah, and that was the best thing ever is the play on that, and that went from Mr. Roper to Mr. Furley and
Oh God, and they were always making especially Mr. Roper. It was priceless when he would throw his pinky up in the air.
oh yeah, he do his little, he got to, yeah, Jack's a little, yeah. All right, so Jack is my number 9. Who do you have next?
I'm gonna go with. I got a big list. I'm gonna go with Sonny Crockett from Miami Vice.
Oh wow, Miami Vice. Was he,
Michael Mann. That was a great show. Bruce Willis was a bad guy on that show. There were all kinds of famous people on that show, but
yeah, it was huge. It's cringing to go back and see the clothes they wore.
Oh, but it's so nostalgic when you watch it. It's like, oh my God. And then when they did it in The Wedding Singer, when Drew Barrymore's boyfriend pulls up and it's a DeLorean, right? Isn't he driving a DeLorean?
It's either that or
He thinks it's a Lamborghini, but it's not. Yeah, because it had butterfly doors.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And he pulls up and the Miami Vice theme song is playing. He's dressed like Sonny Crockett. And you're like, oh God.
He's blasting it too.
Oh yeah. You open the door opens and it's like just booming out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie with with the Colin Farrell and
Jamie
Jamie
Foxx.
Foxx. It was bad.
I give it though. Michael Mann directed it. I guess I mean, I love Michael Mann, so but I think the other issue too is Jamie Foxx is a bigger actor than Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
In the sense that he's nothing against Colin Farrell. I think he's probably more Jamie Foxx is more popular, and during the show, Sonny was kind of always the star. Not that Tubbs wasn't, but he wasn't. Sonny.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Crockett was the star.
yeah, yeah. So I my number 8. I'm gonna have to go because I'm kind of moving these around a little bit. So I'm gonna go with it's killing me here. I'm gonna switch these again. So my number 8 is
Oh, I thought you didn't like Andy Griffith.
well, no, I did watch it. Now I did watch it sometimes. Most of the time,
I don't know about that.
well, this was later on. This was later on. I I did watch I did watch some episodes because of my mom. And I was always like Don Knotts. I didn't like Andy Griffith. I never liked him in Matlock. Never watched him and never liked him in Andy Griffith. Don Knotts was funny, and I put Don Knotts there because of his character. I thought his character was bigger than the show. So even though I wasn't a fan of the show, sometimes I did have to watch it because I was home, whether I'd be on punishment or it was raining outside or something. So
okay.
but no, I don't like the show Andy Griffith, but the character of Barney Fife that Don Knotts played was big. So I don't have to like something to appreciate.
Okay, all right.
All right. So what you got? What you got?
Ryan O'Reilly from Oz.
See, that's something that now was Oz like originally an HBO show.
It was.
Okay, so
But if that's not okay, I'll pick somebody different.
no, this is your list. This is your list.
No, but I mean, I hesitate. I mean, that's why I asked you. Is it just TV or is it like Netflix shows, HBO? Like, because I don't actually consider those sitcoms. I don't know what I consider them, but
Well, that's
yeah,
it's a character,
yeah. Ryan O'Reilly from Oz. He's my favorite character on that show.
Because here's the thing with me and like HBO and these newer, like Hulu and stuff like that, is when it comes to technology, I'm always about 5 to 10 years behind. So maybe one day I'll get it with The Walking Dead and whatever.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm always behind. I spend my time watching Ancient Aliens and the people that build America and stuff like that. So, but I one day will rise to the occasion and step it up a little bit. I promise you that. So you've got you said this was Oz.
Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly. Dean Winters plays him. He's Mayhem from the Allstate ads.
Oh yeah, he was in Law and Order also.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But
of
he was great on Oz. He was on every season. He was so manipulative. He was just really good on that. And then his brother in real life played his brother on the show. I mean, they were good together, the two of them.
Yeah, I know that there were a lot of people from Oz that were on Law and Order, like
Christopher Maloney, yeah,
the Asian man. I think it's like
B.D. Wong.
Yeah, B.D. Wong. Yeah, he's the creepy therapist guy that makes me uncomfortable when he's interviewing people on Law and Order. Yeah, it's very, very weird, very uncomfortable. So the next one for me is Al Bundy, and Al Bundy for me he's one of the greatest one of the greatest dads on television ever.
Mm-hmm.
And
most definitely.
Yeah, that show took Fox to another level. That was remember the lady that got mad and wrote Congress and wanted them to remove the show and all that stuff.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I used to watch that at night with my dad when it was on. I don't even remember that. I guess doesn't surprise me because it was so sort of
it,
chauvinistic and I mean
it,
I'm
it was pretty raunchy. It was pretty raunchy. So I've got Al Bundy next. Who do you got?
gonna go with Dean Winchester
Okay, you have to
from
fill me.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. That's something that comes on TNT when I'm off work, and
Hmm.
it comes on after some of the shows that I've watched. Shows like that for me, and there's another one that comes on around the same time too. What's the show with Alyssa Milano and
Oh, Charmed.
yeah? So those are kind of tied, like kind of.
I never watched that one, but yeah.
Yeah. See, but that's this is your list. You like stuff like
The
that.
thing
So
about the thing about Supernatural is you got two brothers who were hunting all kinds of crazy stuff. But in the meantime, they're driving around in a 1967 Impala, and then you have the music is just ridiculous. It's everybody you can think of. It's a really good soundtrack, mostly classic rock, but it's just a good soundtrack. And then you had people guest star. I mean, like Linda Blair was on an episode. I mean, just funny people would show up, and they were always pretending to be. They were always FBI agents or something, and their names would always be somebody really famous. Like I don't know how no one figured it out. They would introduce themselves to people as like, Agent Jagger and Richards. Like no one would figure that out that those were fake names, right? So I mean, and it was on for 15 years.
wow.
There was something about it. I mean, these two guys, ended up on. I'm sure they never imagined this would happen. They were on the show. I'm going to be on this show about hunting ghosts, and who knew it was going to be 15 years later they were still on it. You know what I mean?
No, 10 seasons is the modern milestone. Is the modern,
Yeah.
but 15 seasons. I mean, like wow. So
Nah.
it's I actually and I actually kind of I think I knew that because one day I think I'd asked somebody on Facebook, why is this show so
Well, it just
popular?
ended recently. That's
Uh,
might be another reason that You know what I mean?
that okay, there you go. So I'm gonna have to give it a try one day.
You'll
Um,
have to.
yeah, Supernatural. My next one is
Oh,
Roseanne.
I loved Roseanne. I loved Darlene. She
Ah,
was
Sarah
hilarious.
Gilbert. Yeah, Sarah Gilbert. Yeah. I put Roseanne on there because, and we were talking about it at work today. I put her on there because she, the show looked real. It
Oh
looked,
yeah.
it looked real, and they look like everyday people, and they
Oh
look
yeah.
people that worked regular jobs and had regular problems. They were, they were the anti to everything that had come before them because
Right.
the 80s cliche was the dad worked all day, he had this good job, and the wife stayed at home, and she didn't do nothing but keep the house clean and cook or whatever. And then comes Roseanne, and she was entirely different, and so that's why I put her on the list. So
Yeah.
and Sarah Gilbert is great as well
She was funny. She was
as
very funny.
yeah, as well as oh, I can't think of what her real name is, but Jackie was great too.
Oh, Laurie Metcalf.
Yeah, Laurie Metcalf, that's right. Yeah, she was
And
great too.
then George Clooney played what was his
Booker,
name? Booker.
yeah, Booker, yeah, George Clooney played Booker. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, so who you got?
This one's it's not, I mean, Matthew Sykes from Alien Nation.
You know, I remember that show. I honestly do, and because they had two movies that come off the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there were like four TV movies, I think. 3 or 4. I know there were more than 2. I think it was 3 or 4. And because I own them, because I'm just
Hey,
No, I know that. No, I loved that show, and I loved Gary Graham as Matt Sykes,
mm,
and he was great. I mean, he was no James Caan as Matt Sykes in the movie, but he was really good and he was really fun. It was a fun show to watch. I was really sad it was only one season. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, and that's the thing. I mean, it's
I'm
what
waiting for the remake.
it's what the characters do for you, the impact. You know, it's not necessarily something that's definitive. For me, my next one is
Oh,
Archie Bunker.
Archie.
Yeah, he was tough to he was funny, and he gave subjects he brought the uncomfortable out but put a spin on it and made it funny. So that's my next one. And of course, you know, we have what was it, Sally Struthers, to go on and do the famous feed the kids commercials. And
Oh, and Rob Reiner.
yeah. So, you know, we have that show to thank for them. What you
Just,
got
good old meathead.
yeah, meathead, that's right. Who you got next?
Well, okay, so this one,
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this one because this is out of all the characters on the show, he's the greatest. But
Mhm.
as a kid, he wasn't my favorite on the show. But now older, I know he is absolutely the best person on that show. So Thomas Magnum. And
Oh,
so my when I was a kid, I was in love with Rick. I just thought he was really cute. But as an adult now, I know that Thomas Magnum, Tom Selleck, was that.
ah,
I mean, he was driving around in that Ferrari. And
oh,
my mom, is a huge Magnum fan, and she's a huge Tom Selleck fan. And my brother said to her, "Oh, there's this show, and he's driving a Ferrari, and this guy." And my mom was like, and that was the end of that. So.
mhm.
But I mean, it was great. It was a great show. He was, he was a PI, but he was a vet. He just was, he had TC and Rick, and they had the helicopter. I mean, it was just a great show.
Oh yeah.
Great show.
Yeah, he had the big thick mustache and the Hawaiian shirts and the Dobermans. You can't
No,
forget
the
the
Dobermans. Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
forget about the Dobermans. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
I think the
My
Ferrari was the,
yeah, and TC was a badass.
TC. What? Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, he
that
was
helicopter was like so cool.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
My next one is Ralph Cramden. Now the funny thing about the Honeymooners was, if I'm not mistaken, there's only like around for like 2 seasons. I think that's all
I
Jack
don't know. Yeah.
wanted to do. But the chemistry that now the character itself wouldn't fly today. It's it's very similar to the father on Everybody Loves Raymond. Kind of edgy, a little bit disrespectful.
All in the Family wouldn't fly today.
Oh
In
no,
all fairness,
no. So
Yeah.
very very different time.
I
Very,
actually think Ralph Cramden might fly before Archie Bunker, to be quite honest with you.
I think you're right. I
I know I'm right. I'm
oh
not being arrogant, but I think, yeah, I think that one's clear
yeah
that
yeah
Archie would be cut before Ralph.
yeah right yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so who do you got next?
Well, how many do we have left?
I've only got three.
You have 3 left, so I need to, because I have I do have my number one, so
Mhm.
I want to make sure I don't say that one before
Yeah.
it's time. I'm gonna go with Frenchie from The Boys,
Reggie from the Boys.
which is on Amazon. It's based on a Garth Ennis comic. It's called The Boys. Frenchie is the bomb guy. He does all the funky stuff they ask him to do. He's the little French guy and he likes the Asian girl, Kamiko.
Oh, see, when you said Frenchie, I was thinking of Greece.
No, I know. Yeah, no.
I was Greece and Frenchie, but no. So what I'm going to do for you, what I want you to do for me is when we're done, I want you to send me this list so I can check out these.
Okay, no problem.
So I can check these because, like I said, I now Amazon might be a problem, but the other ones I can manage to.
But that one, I say that one, and the only reason is because I read the comic book. I read the whole thing,
Mhm.
and Frenchie was my favorite, and Kamiko is called the female, and I loved the two of them together in that story, and I also liked Butcher though, and so it was exciting for me to see them come to life and who was going to play these characters. And the guy they picked to play Frenchie, I mean, he's perfect. He's just really good. So I like it for that reason, good for Garth,
Yeah.
So
There's,
go ahead.
there's stuff that I watched that that a lot of people wouldn't even know what it was, but it's my thing. There's nothing wrong with your thing.
Sure.
My number 3, of course, is Red Fox.
He was mine.
You gotta love Sanford.
Well, yeah, of course. And he was like on my list, but he was like asterisk because I never really watched Sanford and Son, but my brother and my dad loved it. And I had to just mention Fred because of that, just for, sentimental reasons, and the fact that I get called a big dummy every once in a while.
You big dummy. All right, big dummy. Who you got?
So I have 2 more. So my second to last one. Let's see. Well. Oh man, I'm gonna say. Oh man, this is a tough one because I'm gonna say this one's 2 people because they go together. It's Rick and AJ Simon. Simon and Simon.
I totally forgot all about that show.
I love that show. Gerald McRaney. And James Parker. I love Gerald McRaney on that show.
Totally forgot about that show. And like I was saying earlier, there were shows that when I was at work, we were talking about it. And my buddy Gary actually sent me a list of his, and I was just like, oh, I forgot about that show.
Well, I'm sure I've forgotten some. I'm sure, if anybody's watching, knows me really well. They're like, Elizabeth, you forgot so-and-so.
Simon and Simon. Wow. I not that I have this person on my list, but one of the big shows I used to watch as a kid was Hunter with Fred Dry.
Oh yeah, with Fred. Yeah, of course.
And that was in the era when in the 80s there was always cars flipping over and turning on their sides. People would get out, unscratched like it was okay. And I'm like, okay.
It was a good show. It was a good show.
Yeah. Number 2 for me. Number 1's going to shock you, but number 2 for me is
George.
Is George Jefferson, without a doubt for me. Number 2.
Okay.
And George was the man. And you want to know why he called Wheezy?
Did you watch Amen? That was another good one he was on. I
did, yeah.
But tell me about Wheezy. Sorry. Tell me about Wheezy.
The reason why he called his wife Wheezy is because of her asthma, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
And she was always, and I think it was because her voice. Because it was either because asthma or her voice. It was either one or the other.
Well, she was. Yeah, I remember that on that show.
But yeah, Amen, when he was the preacher.
I loved that. Sherman helps. He was priceless on that.
Yeah, and he Deacon was always secretly in love with. Oh, look at him. Deacon was in love with the one lady. Yeah, good old Amen. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah.
All right, so so you got 2 left.
I have 2 left. I thought I only had 1 left. I have 2 left.
Well, I have 1 left. Did you go first or I go first? You went first.
I thought I went first. So okay. So it should be my number 1 right now.
Yes, hit me with your number 1.
My number 1 TV character of all time is Hayden Fox from Coach.
Wow. Hold on, Craig T. Nelson.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely.
Wow. I forgot all about Coach. Yeah. And shows like that, Coach, and then there was Major Dad and Craig T. Nelson. Wow.
And I mean, I didn't even, and there was Who's the Boss. There have been all kinds of stuff we haven't discussed, but yeah.
Dauber was my boy.
Dauber was on Oz.
Oh, wow.
Oz. He also was the voice on SpongeBob.
No kidding. Wow.
Not of SpongeBob, but of his pink friend, whatever his pink friend's name is. I never watched SpongeBob.
Patrick. Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick.
He's the voice of that guy. Yeah.
Wow.
And then you had Jerry Van Dyke as Luther.
Yes, Luther. That's right. Yeah.
That show was really, really, really funny. Like, I mean, there's an episode with my favorite is the train episode, but there's an episode where Christine is gone. That's Hayden's girlfriend. Christine has gone away, and she leaves Hayden alone in her apartment in Minneapolis. And she's like, "Are you sure you're gonna be okay?" He's like, "I'll be fine." And he tries to keep himself busy, and he ends up calling Luther, which is a mistake, right? Christine's just had new white carpet installed in the apartment. And he invites Luther over, and Luther spills grape juice all over the white carpet and then mops it up with her bathrobe. I mean, it's one of the funniest episodes. I mean, it's just priceless. It's very,
And
very funny.
you know what's funny about that show is that Dauber and Luther weren't that far apart as far as like common sense went.
Oh, right. Well, the chain of it was like Hayden was the smartest, then Luther, then
Right.
Dauber. Then it would be Dauber was smarter than Luther. Because Luther and Dauber, you never knew who was going to make the right decision when those two were around. Yeah.
Yeah. They weren't that far off. My number one, so we can wrap this up. My number one
Oh,
is George Costanza.
all right.
And I thought long and hard about that. And the reason why I chose Jason Alexander as George Costanza is because I felt that if you looked at the show, I felt that the characters went George, Elaine, Kramer, and then Jerry was at the bottom. Even though it was Seinfeld's show, I felt that he was at the bottom as far as the characters went. And I always thought George really carried the show.
Mm,
And
okay.
as the show went on, he just got better and better and better. And a little interesting fact about Seinfeld is that originally they offered the role of George to David Alan Grier, and he turned it down.
Oh.
Yeah, and there's
I
an
can't imagine that. I mean, I can. I mean, he wouldn't have been a bad choice.
well, the reason why he turned it down is because he said that Jerry Seinfeld can't act, and he chose not to be a part of it. Yeah, so he turned it down, and then of course, little did he know, it would become
A major TV show with residuals coming to you for the rest of
oh
your life.
oh yeah So we'll have to skip the 80s and the 90s. I might bring those on Tuesday and roll those with Tim. But let me do this real quick here. And don't
I
forget,
just want to wish Donald Sutherland a happy birthday.
oh, don't forget this Tuesday. Don't forget this Tuesday, and you can see this on YouTube as well. And then it'll also stream from Third Floor Comics Facebook page. Catch us Tuesday around 3:00, between 3:30, somewhere around there. So, but before we go, I wanted to thank you for hanging out with me and coming on. And
Thank you for having me come on. Thank you for doing this. It's fun.
yeah, absolutely. What's your cat's name again?
Gruber, after
That's
Hans
right,
Gruber from Die Hard.
That's right, Hans Gruber.
He's a Christmas cat. I got him at Christmas. He needed a Christmas name.
That's right, Hans Gruber. All right. Well, you got anything before I cut us out here?
I don't. Thanks for listening. If you listened.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget to if you're watching this on Facebook, you can follow my page on Facebook, or you can follow this is streaming on YouTube too. There's a couple people that follow us on YouTube. We want to thank them, and we're gonna head out, and we'll see you with live from Third Floor Comics on Tuesday.
See ya.